This is my sixth and final video on dry versus wet writing, and it is a request for feedback. I have a question I legitimately want help in answering. I promise this is not a plea for engagement. My channel's not monetized, nothing like that. I have a legitimate question that I'm struggling with, and I want some opinions on. I describe dry versus wet writing as dry being very explicit about what it's talking about, such as Pinball Wizard, versus being very wet where it's been processed by the author, such as The Room of 32 Doors by Genesis on The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. I want to write in a very wet style. I read my poem Bookmark, which is in that style. And that's the way I approached all the lyrics to Overmind. But to help, I wrote liner notes to describe the events that I'm reacting to. And I think that gives the audience a choice. Do they want to just experience the song for what it is, or do they want to feel it in the historic context? There's a tradition in rock opera of putting liner notes in. As I described in The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, they have this whole story spelled out. Similarly, in Quadrophenia, Pete Townsend wrote a whole story that goes with it. In the case of War of the Worlds, the narrator reads that story out loud to us. My question is, what do I do with these liner notes? I could print them on the booklet for the CD, but honestly, when's the last time you bought or listened to a CD? I know some of you do. I know some of you listen to records still, but the vast majority of people do not get a physical copy of what they're going to listen to. I could put the lyrics on my website, but that's a step that I don't think many people will take. So one idea I have is I record the liner notes, and instead of the album having 22 tracks, it'll have 44 tracks. Each introduction will be its own track. That way, I can also make a playlist that leaves out the introductions. What do you think? Would that be something you would want to hear? Would you want the option to hear an album like this with the context and then be able to listen to it without the context? Would you rather not have it at all? I'm honestly curious because I don't have an answer for this. Thanks, help.